going on, Jerome's? So the biggest question the Minnesota Vikings had to answer this offseason was what were they going to do at the quarterback position? And frankly, I do think that third-year GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah absolutely cooked with gas. I thought he did a phenomenal job because the specter of re-signing Kirk Cousins to another massive contract didn't really sit right. Coming off the Achilles, going to be 36 years young, and Kwesi, I think, did the smart move, allowing Kurt to walk to Atlanta, and then also they drafted Michael Penix. So, can't you just hear this picture? Howdy, y'all. Come on. Also, Kurt wearing skinny jeans. I didn't even know that Cole sold skinny jeans in men's. Doesn't matter. But yeah, Kurt decided to leave. Is what it is. The Vikings did work, and they drafted J.J. McCarthy right after signing up Sling and Sam Darnold, former number 3 overall pick in 2018, to a $10 million deal. And frankly, I thought what they did at the quarterback position was smart because they let Kurt walk. They took their dead cap lumps this year with the void years. They freed up $110 million in cap space in 2025 and beyond. They're in great financial shape. They can pay JJ. They can pay Darisaw. They can be players in free agency next year. Darnold was in demand. Denver wanted stupid-ass Sean Payton wanted Sam Darnold, but so thank you. And yes, even though he had been a backup last year, there was significant demand. So 1 year, $10 million, I ain't mad at that. And then maneuvering to get McCarthy, I think was a masterstroke. I think Kwesi waited out the board, and he played this thing perfectly. And so I'm really happy with the Vikings quarterback room right now. Long story longer. So ESPN's Bill Barnwell says no. Dikembe Mutombo, no. Don't be so happy with this. It's ridiculous, man. But Barnwell this week, the 2024 NFL offseason, NFC teams' best, worst deals, picks, and more. And for the Vikings, you talked about the quarterback position. A superlative for the Vikings team, most likely to buy the supplemental insurance. So basically, supplemental insurance is a ripoff. And it's what you get when you're scared. The extended warranty on your smartphone, the extra insurance when you rent a car, a peace of mind goes a long way, but there's a reason why a company is happy to sell you that contract. It's a moneymaker for them in the long run. Shake your moneymaker. Every NFL team wants to add depth and build in backup plans, but the Vikings made serious commitments to a series of contingencies. So basically, Barnwell's saying is that they're the overkill killers. Like they just went overboard, and two is one is none. Sort of deal. First, after losing Kirk Cousins to the Falcons in free agency, was it really a loss, though? That's a win. That's a loss. They signed Sam Darnold to a 1 year, $10 million deal. I just said that. With $8.8 million guaranteed. It's always funny, like the 1 year deals where it's got a partial guarantee. It's like they have an out just in case you're ass. Thank you in preseason. That's about double what he made with the 49ers in 2023 and more than any other backup quarterback in the league. So everyone's crucifying the Vikings for signing Sam Darnold to a $10 million deal. Oh, he's a backup. The Patriots gave Jabroni Brisket an $8 million deal. The Commies gave Mariota a decent backup contract as well. It's almost like that's the going rate for having a veteran backup that you don't mind potentially being the bridge quarterback to your first-round QB. Blah, 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 blah. More than any other backup quarterback in the league, unless the Vikings really saw something when he averaged 6.5 yards per pass attempt with the 49ers in 46 garbage time Week 18 snaps. They were paying a premium to ensure they would have Darnold as an option if they didn't land a quarterback in round 1 of the draft. So let's judge his stats from him being a backup with the 49ers when at the end of games as well as Week 18 when it didn't matter, when he was in there with less than ideal talent as well as a vanilla playbook, as well as he didn't have all the practice reps during the week because they went to Brock Purdy. It's like, let's not talk about how amazing he was at USC. Let's talk about how he was a number 3 overall pick. Let's not talk about how the Jets and the Panthers ruined him. But it's like 6.5 yards per pass attempt when he was a backup with the 49ers. Whatever. Then, to theoretically add more capital in the hopes of trading up, Minnesota sent 2 second-round picks and a 6th-rounder to the Texans for the number 23 overall pick and a 7th-rounder. It's still unclear why the Vikings are willing to light draft capital on fire to land an additional first-rounder as opposed to simply holding on to those second-rounders and moving them in a draft day deal instead. So if the 49ers, who, by the way, traded 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance, Oh, 3 first-round picks and a third. But if the 49ers or if the Chiefs or the Patriots when Belichick was there or if the Ravens, if they did this deal, brava. Or hell, even if it was the Packers, even though they don't really do trades like this, or if it was Ryan Poles and the Bears, it would just be like, even though Ryan Poles traded the number 32 overall pick for Chase Claypool, would just be like, brava. But see, when it was Vikings and Kwesi, it's lighting draft capital on fire. Oh, I'm sorry, me so sorry that it's lighting draft capital on fire to get your future franchise quarterback as well as Dallas frickin' Turner, the best edge rusher in the class. Sorry, that's lighting things on fire. We didn't start the fire, just kidding. Yes, we did with our draft capital. In the end, they didn't need that additional first-round pick to take quarterback J.J. McCarthy or weren't able to use it to land Drake May, at which point they consolidated further and spent even more to move up for edge rusher Dallas Turner. It's like, oh, okay, so what you're saying is that it's bad to have options. It's bad to have love for multiple quarterbacks. It's bad to give yourself outs, right? So once you're honed in on a plan, you have to stick to it no matter what. And the Vikings, sitting at 11-23, it gave them maximum flexibility. They could have traded it up into the top 5 or 6 if the deal was right. If they wanted to make that move, if the right guy was there, if Drake May was a guy, if Daniels had fallen, if whatever. Like, if they had wanted to make the move, they could have done it. Like, they had the draft capital to do it. But having that number 23 overall pick in their back pocket, yeah, they gave up 2 second-rounders, but also it's a deal that they potentially could have done throughout the draft. But also, it gave them the options and flexibility before the draft to be able to talk about hypotheticals because, well, more concrete hypotheticals, rather, because it's one thing to say, hey, if we get an extra first-round pick, would you make this deal, as opposed to, hey, we have 11-23. Like, what are your terms? What has to happen on draft night? And the Vikings were flexible, and they were able to maneuver. And could have been a spot where the Vikings would trade up 3 for J.J. McCarthy. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but the fact that Kwesi was patient, he waited on the board, and it came to him, and Michael Penix went to the Falcons at 8, which, again, if you're going to draft a young quarterback to sit behind Kurt for a couple of years, why not take McCarthy? But for that, we thank you. So the Vikings were able to move up from 11-10, and then were able to move up from 23-17 for McCarthy and Turner, respectively. And I know the Barnwell is just like, oh, but what about all those picks they gave up? So they'll talk about all the picks that they gave up to move up, all those mid-round picks, and then they'll talk about the hit rate of those mid-round picks is garbage. Please. After cycling through 4 quarterbacks last season, you can understand why Coach Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi adofo-mensah wanted to have a quarterback they believed in once the game musical chair stopped in April. In paying a premium for Darnold and trading away excess draft capital for the mere possibility of a first-round pick would be needed in a trade, though, the Vikings may have outthought themselves. Oh, me so sorry. It's like, oh, I'm sorry that we ended up with our future franchise guy in J.J. McCarthy, the guy that they potentially may have wanted all along. And I'm sorry that we ended up with Dallas frickin' Turner. I'm sorry that the missing out on future draft picks. I'm sorry if that offends you. No. So I'm super happy, super fired up with how it ended up for the Vikings. So it just sort of is what it is. But, I mean, Barnwell, he could be unhappy. But I think the letting go of Kirk Cousins was smart. It was time to move on. The Vikings weren't going to match that offer in any way, shape, or form. And also, I think the Falcons were outbidding themselves. Darnold for 1 year, $10 million. It was a great option as a bridge quarterback because you didn't know how the draft was going to shake out. Getting McCarthy at 10, keeping your powder dry, not giving up that future first rounder is fantastic. And also, Dallas friggin' Turner. That's all. So basically, at the end of the day, you gave up a future 2, 3, 4 for Dallas Turner and J.J. McCarthy. I'll take that every single friggin' day. But anyways, that's it. Your thoughts are thoughts. ESPN's Bill Barnwell sort of takes a poo-poo on the Vikings. Shocker. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. You guys know what to do. Skol, production value.